What's up, everybody? Pete from the basement over here in Artist Alley at Brooklyn POW Con. We're here with Dan Khanna. He is the illustrator of many of your favorite 80s cartoon series. He's got Spider-Man, he's got Transformers, he's got He-Man, he's got G.I. Joe, Voltron, both the car and the Lions. So obviously, I enjoyed myself over at his booth. Dan, thanks for coming on the program, man.
Hey. You're very welcome.
Thank you for letting me not interrupt you while you're drawing Prowl over here, one of my favorite Transformers, one of your favorites as well.
Absolutely. He's Prowl and Optimus are kind of my two all-time favorite Autobots.
Now, you've had a lot of success drawing the Transformers in the past. Tell us about that.
Well, I grew up with them. I was a child of the 80s, so I've been drawing them for a really long time, and I just continue to do it. Yeah.
Do you find mechs are more difficult to draw, like keeping everything in perspective, keeping it boxy but human at the same time?
I guess I've done it so many times, it doesn't really bother me that much in most cases. I know where a lot of people have problems with it, but it's not that different from drawing people. You just have to remember the details of what you're drawing. Having a lot of reference comes in very handy when you're drawing Transformers to make it pretty accurate if you can. But if you could draw people, I don't think drawing robots is all that difficult. You just have to be really patient.
Do you have a favorite Decepticon that you draw?
I'm more of an Autobot guy. Probably Megatron's pretty easy. He's an easy one with his big bucket helmet, so I'll probably go for Megatron.
I was always the guy that rooted for the villains. I used to root for Bluto because I felt Olive Oil got Popeye. Like, I got Bluto in trouble all too often. I used to root for Shredder because I thought he had the more badass outfit compared to just the Ninja Turtles. You know, it's like, all right, whatever. I mean, the purple, the silver, it worked.
No, it does. It does.
I didn't really root for Skeletor, though.
The whole purple and blue thing going on for the 80s bad guys, it's a good motif. It's a good look.
This is one of the most classic images. You've got pretty much all of the classic bad guys, but I have to say there's one guy missing that I would like to see in there that I don't feel gets enough of play, and that's, I don't know if you ever watched the cartoon Dungeons and Dragons back in the early 80s. There was Venger, voiced by Peter Cullen.
He was really, that was him. I remember Tiamat more than Venger, but yeah, okay, all right, cool.
So I think maybe if I'm trying to like send the alpha waves into your head at the next show, I might be interested in a print of maybe Venger versus Tiamat or something like that. That would be dope.
Oh, yeah. It's a good idea.
I also would... Speaking of ideas, like the classic scene, since you like Megatron so much, I'm going to amp it up one to Galvatron and do the death scene of, like, I'm imagining Galvatron in the foreground shooting Starscream disintegrating in the background.
You're the second person this weekend that's asked me about that. Actually, somebody was asking me for a print of, do you just have Galvatron shooting Starscream? So, I've never heard of it before, but that's
it's one of the most classic scenes. Megatron, is that you? Here's a hint.
It's a good scene.
I just love the line. It's so good.
Yeah, it is.
I actually have picked up 3 prints from Dan so far. We've got Bumblebee and Spider-Man in the classic homage to Todd McFarlane. We've got Storm Shadow and versus Snake Eyes, of course, and just one of the coolest tributes to every 80s character I've ever seen popping up on screen for you right now is G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man. I love the fact that you've got Sergeant Slaughter in there. Now, he was one of my favorite Joes. He was one of my favorite wrestlers, and I don't feel he gets enough of play because everybody's always like, oh, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. And like, I'm one to complain like I'm wearing a stupid tattoo.
Well, that one I can't really take credit for because that one was a commission.
Okay.
And the guy who commissioned it wanted Sergeant Slaughter punching Zartan, which he did in the comics, actually, in the original Larry Hama comics. So I had no problem with that. That totally worked out for me. So, and I do get a lot of Joe Sergeant Slaughter fans, so hopefully they'll dig it.
That's awesome. Did you ever get to meet the Sarge?
I don't think I did, no. I've seen him, I know he's been at a million cons I've been to, but whenever I'm at a show, I'm usually basically anchored here the entire show.
Right.
So I go a lot of places, but I see very little.
Well, Dan, thank you for taking the time to be with us. I wish you lots of luck at the rest of the show.
Thank you.
And thank you for the awesome prints, man. I love them.
You're very
and
welcome.
I will definitely be coming back for more.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys. Brooklyn POW Con. Wish you were here. Pete's Basement is copyrighted 2020. Ripped Productions. All rights reserved. So go fuck yourself.